The following may contain strong opinionated views. The views and opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the views or the opinions of any social media or broadcast platform.
Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome once again, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, and it's another Friday here. We're coming out of New York City. That's where we originate. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan, and we're going to be with you for a whole full hour. As each Friday, we gather around the breakfast table and the water cooler, or wherever you may be hanging out right now. And we are going to provide you with a lot of great conversation and a lot of fun. So we invite you to stay right there where you are. So glad to have you aboard with us. And of course, those of you who've been around with us for all of these years, we keep thanking you each week. That's what we do, because if it weren't for you, then we wouldn't have a show. So thank you so much for being out there. Now, I want to talk to some of the people who've been with us at least for a short while, and maybe some people are new at this moment. Let me show you how the show operates. Now, as a host of the show, I am going to provide a little conversation. I throw out a little piece of something just to get started. And we don't have to linger on it for a whole time, but it gives us a start. And as I do that, at any time at all, use your keyboard on your computer, be it laptop or your desktop, your telephone or your tablet, typing whatever you want to talk about. I'll see you right there on the big screen, and I'll entertain all of your thoughts and ideas, because that's what the show is all about. Free exchange of ideas and of opinion. We all have them. So what we're going to do today is we're going to combine all of our thoughts and our ideas and opinions all in one, make it all in one, so we can collaborate whatever we want to talk about. Now, keep in mind, too, you don't have to linger on a certain topic all day. You can chime in whatever you want to talk about. It doesn't matter. You can create your own topic. We'll see you right there. All you have to do is just type it in. And then whatever the topic you want to talk about, if we have time, we'll get it in there. Because if it's important to you, it's important to the rest of us. So again, thank you so much for being along with us. We got a packed show for you today. And of course, Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. That'll be along. And later on in the program, before it's all over, I have all of those great movies. Now, I go into the collection of the movie vault of Turner Classic Movies. And they have all of the good there, all of the classic movies right there. So I go there each week and take my pick of the week for your weekend. Yes, I said the weekend. The weekend, believe it or not, is right around the corner. And whatever you do on the weekend is whatever you do. But some of the things that some of you may want to do is catch up on some old movies that you haven't seen in a long time, and even movies that are new. It's all provided for you. But I will throw in my 2 cents and give you the movies that I have this week right here on Turner Classic Movies. So that's what we have going. We thank you again, once again. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. So with that being said, we're going to do what we normally do, raise our cups with all our elements in it, because what the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So excuse me while I shoot up. That's delicious. Now, those of you who are watching, you want to enjoy a conversation with us, please do. We feel free to do that. And as I said, Brian Camp, coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina, he's here right now. And Brian, a pleasant good morning to you. I see the sun is out in your area right now, because I can see the shadow behind you.
Yeah, the sun is very bright this morning, so that's why I had to rearrange where I'm at right now, because it was very, very sunny, bright sunny. So that's why I had to change some things around so I won't get hit with the sun pointing directly at you.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of sunshine here today as well. So thanks for sending it our way because I know usually whatever you get, it just floats up north. It comes here. So
Oh,
thank you
that's
for the
great.
sunshine.
Oh,
So what's
great.
going
Yeah.
on today?
Nothing much. Nice, pleasant morning. 77 is very comfortable weather. As we hit the last day of the month. It's Friday, 31st, and headed right into August, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing to look forward to another month of August. That's kind of like the last month of what we call summer because some people, the kids are going to be going back to school pretty soon, either late August, depending on where you are, late August and early September. And then you have late.
School started already in the state of Virginia already and Georgia. Yeah,
Already?
yeah. We don't
Wow.
go back until the to the 26th of August. The schools don't go back. So the kiddies will be happy to see me again. I
So
guess, I hope, I don't know.
how do they do that? Do you when the summer months come around, you release the kids earlier than because here in the north, in the cities here, everything starts in September. School starts in September and it ends off in, I believe, June.
Yeah, the South is different. Some
Okay.
parts of the South, the majority of the parts of the South, with the exception of here, or even though we start early than the schools up north, um, Virginia started school. Well, the teachers had to be back last week.
Hmm.
They start the schools now and everything. So
Hmm.
so that's why it's a little bit different in everything, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you're going to start where you are. Your
Yeah.
school is what, in next month, September
Late August, yeah.
or late August. Okay. So
Yes.
that's not too. Hey, listen, that's not too far away because the quicker time goes by quick, the months go by quick. You know, and I can't believe this is the last day of July, the very last day, the very last day. So we're coming up to August, and uh, just savor the moment. Just savor the moment. And this is the last time we'll be talking about this for the month of May. All of the things that we draw attention to, particularly again, I repeated it on the show last night on Talkback Live. It's still National Ice Cream Month. It's National Blueberry Month.
Excuse
National
me for a
Hot.
second. Just
Yeah.
give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay. I have to
Okay.
go on mute.
I'll linger on. I'll linger on. National Ice Cream Month. Those of you who love your ice cream, by all means, you pick your favorite flavor, enjoy it. You don't have to have a certain month to enjoy ice cream, but it's there this month, and they're just drawing an attention to it. So it's National Ice Cream Month. And as I said, it's National Blueberry Month. Did you have your blueberry pancakes? Blueberry all month long. And you have National Hot Dog Month as well. And of course, how do you like to eat your hot dog? Well, I just do the old standard way mustard and sauerkraut or mustard and onions. The rest of it you could have. And then you have National Grilling Month. You do your grilling with your hot dog, your barbecue. You got the rest of this month, depending on where you are. You don't have to go back to school earlier, but in the South, as Brian said, they're going to start their school year at the tail end of August, but they still be grilling in the month, so you could still do that. And then there's National Picnic Month. Everybody's going out, and this weekend may be one of the days, one of the weekends that you want to go out picnic and do everything, and then you go different places we have. So you have all of those things. So National Ice Cream Month, National Blueberry Month, National Hot Dog Month, National Grilling Month, and National Picnic Month. That's the last time we're going to be talking about that because again, today ends the very last day of July. It's just July 31st. And in case you're celebrating something special on this day, July 31st, and we of course, would like to say hello to all of you. It may be a birthday, it may be a bar mitzvah, or whatever you're celebrating. It may be that. Now, those of you who are going to join us in conversation, I really would appreciate that. First of all, you guys who are coming in, we want to say hello. I do see you when you come in, but of course, as usual, I will not say anything, of course, unless you say something first. Now, the reason why we do that is because we want to respect your privacy. A lot of people come in, that doesn't mean they want to talk or indulge in conversation. It only means that some of you want to just enjoy the show and just sit back and relax. And if that's you, that's okay. But we do see you. But for those of you who happen to say something and we draw you right in, that's great. But again, we won't say anything unless you say something first. Now, those of you who are going to indulge in conversation, what I'm going to ask you to do is I ask you every Friday to give us your weather forecast. Now, we have different weather forecasts. Now, Brian has a weather forecast over there where he lives. I have one here in New York, and wherever you are, it may be different. We want to compare notes. I do that. That's just a fun thing I like to do and inject into the show. It's just to compare notes on what the weather is like here to over where you are. And we could talk about that too. So please do that. Now, those of you who live in New York, don't worry about it because I am going to take care of all of that. I'm going to do all the local weather. That's coming up a little later on in the program. And those of you who are at work now, sometimes a lot of you could be at work right now because it's after 10 o'clock in the morning here. It's 10 minutes past the hour of 10 o'clock here in New York City. And it's probably different where you are. Now, you may be at work, some of you, and if that's the case, maybe at this particular time you're on your coffee hour, your coffee break. All right. So what we say on that coffee break, if you're taking your coffee break right now, take it with us. You know how it is every day, 5 days a week. You're over there when your coffee breaks come around, whatever they allow you. Maybe it's a 10-minute, 15 or 20-minute break. Okay. Use that today. It's Friday. Instead of schmoozing with your friends, you could do that all later on. Instead of schmoozing with your friends and your coworkers, do it with us. Stay at your computer and enjoy the show. Enjoy the coffee break and the show at the same time. Because then when it's over, no one has to tell you back, okay, get back to your post. Your coffee break is over. Get back to your desk. You're already there. And this way, now you can enjoy still your coffee and enjoy the show at the same time. And then you could work at the same time, right? It's what they call multitasking. So wherever you are, and you guys are hanging out at the water cooler, get away from the water cooler. You talk about whatever happened last night or talk about your sporting events. Talk it over with us. Give us the conversation that you're indulging in at that water cooler. It would be interesting to know. It would be interesting to know. Okay, in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and we're going to be here for a whole full hour, as I always say. And of course, those of you who do incline to enjoy with us, please feel free. Feel free. We got a lot to talk about. Again, you can talk about anything. Subjects are open all the time. They're always open. So whatever your subject is, we don't care what you want to talk about it. It could be sports. It could be entertainment. It could be politics. Boy, we talk a lot of politics here. I honestly, to tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen, I'd rather leave politics out of the equation. But everything is politics this day. Politics goes into everything these days. And we got to find a way to get back to the norm. All right. But until that happens, I guess we'll talk about it. And because you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. Now, that doesn't mean because certain things I don't want to talk about, I'll still talk about it. If you bring it out there and if that's what you want to talk about, then of course we'll talk it over with you. That would be great. And so there you have it. Everything happens there. Now we've got a good show, as I said. That show is coming up, and sports, as I said, later on, just about 5 minutes from now, a little over 5 minutes from now, we've got. Less than 5 minutes. So yeah, about 5 minutes, a little over 5 minutes from now, Brian will be coming in with the sports. If you're looking forward to a good weekend, I hope that you're having one because the time goes so fast. As you go out throughout the week, and you're doing what you're doing, and now finally the weekend comes around, and let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, the weekends are not like what they used to be. Remember, weekends used to seem like they were long. You had 2 big days, and it used to seem like they were long. and they go by so fast. I don't know what's happening with this time warp thing, but it goes by so quickly that when you go to sleep tonight, it's Monday morning. That's what it would seem like. And not really Monday morning, it'd be Saturday morning. But when you go to sleep tonight and you wake up, it'll seem like, wow, it's Monday already. And then you have to go back to work, back to the grind, and do whatever you do. So savor the moment at all times for your weekend. Savor the for weekend. I'm not sure what's happening on the weekend for me. I just like to relax, but I do know there is no work in the equation. And anyone that knows me personally know that I do not accept any work. I don't even talk shop. I don't even talk shop. At least I try not to. Anyway, thank you so much again for being along with us. And we've got a lot of things happening today. Now, when Brian talks about sports later on, I got to throw my 2 cents in on sports, because there are a couple of things that I am not happy about in the sporting arena this week. Not a lot of things I'm happy about, but I do know things will get a little better. Hopefully, get a little better in sports the way it is. We got to iron things out. And sunny skies for the weekend. Now, let me give you, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you my weather forecast right now. Now, for those of you, again, if you want to indulge in conversation, we would love you to do that. Indulge in conversation and let us know about the weather that you have. But if you're from New York right now, don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of the New York weather right now. As a matter of fact, if you are watching us, the weather is not going to be it's not going to be a bad weekend. We anticipated at one time, we already anticipated at one time that the weather was going to be a little shaky, but now the way it looks here in New York, it doesn't look that bad. We've got 75 degrees right now. It's 75 degrees and the sun is already out. Clouds are hit and miss clouds, but nothing about rain. There's nothing about rain in the forecast for this weekend. So let me give you what I have right now for today. We've got sunny to partly cloudy skies all day long today. We'll have a high around 85 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. So you can leave the umbrella home. Sometimes they say, the weather, you watch it one day, it's rain and then it's sunshine. But according to this right now, sunny to partly cloudy skies. And we're going to high of 85 degrees. Now, tonight, if you're going out, you don't need the umbrella either. According to this, only according to this, I am not Mother Nature. It could change at one point, but use your common sense and use your better judgment on whether or not you want to put that folding umbrella in your bag or whatever it is. It's going to be a few passing clouds. Otherwise, generally clear. We'll have a low near 70 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. All right, that's for tonight. Now, tomorrow, as you already know, that's my favorite day of the weekend. Saturday looks good. I think I'm gonna use that day too. Sunshine and clouds mixed together. We'll have a high near 85 degrees. Winds will be south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. All right, so I'll use it. It's not bad. We don't have a heat wave or anything like that, so that's good. And for Saturday night, considerable cloudiness. We have a low 73. Winds will be south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. But still, there's nothing in the forecast that predicts any rain. And the same thing for Sunday. Sunday is going to be mostly cloudy. No rain, though. We'll have a high 83 degrees. Winds will be south-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And repeating our current temperature. Our current temperature here in New York, we have 75 degrees and clearing skies, and it looks good out there. So again, if you're going to be with us in conversation, hello, we want to wave to you people who are coming in. As I say, I see you, but you coming in, I'll just say hi to you. And if you're going to indulge in conversation, please give us that weather forecast. We would like to know. I gave you mine, all right? You New Yorkers, don't worry about it. I already gave it out already. But if you're in the South or someplace on the other side of the world, someplace, give us your weather forecast because we like to find out more about that. That's just a little thing that we do each week. There you go. Sports is coming up pretty soon in about a minute. Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. We've got that coming along. And there's a lot of things to talk about in sports. We already know the basketball season is all over. We're waiting around for the next time around. And, the World Cups, that's all over. That's done and forgotten. And the only thing that we're talking about right now is baseball. And then we're focusing on football because that's coming around. So since I mentioned football, I want to say to the Minnesota Vikings, I want to say to the Minnesota Vikings, I want to say to the Dallas Cowboys, I want to say to the New York Giants and the New York Jets, tighten up the game, especially the Jets. Especially the Jets. They need to tighten it up. They need to tighten it up because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. The Jets and the Giants. And if it makes you feel any better, the Vikings they got to tighten up the game too. So you got football, all of that is coming around, and that's going to be looking good. Brian dipped out for a minute. I don't know where he is, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get sports started for part of the thing going on right now. So let's get a little sports going, at least until he gets back. So let's get started right now on the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. From foul call debates, media controversy, online player abuse, and all-star weekend drama over something in the simple as her hair. Caitlin Clark continues to receive the short end of the stick despite being on the WNBA's biggest draw. She's the biggest draw now. Now, Clark, who admitted being emotionally exhausted and slammed the media as left of Team USA's training camp roster last season, not including, and she hasn't been included on the WNBA's 30th anniversary poster, and missed out on the 2026 ESPYS, that's the best WNBA play ballot. Clark is also missing from the ESPN's new documentary, which has announced the day after All-Star Weekend in Chicago ended. And meanwhile, Clark's fan base was split as a lip reader spotted her promise to Barack Obama. Now, I just want to chime in right here because I happen to like Caitlin Clark. I love Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark she excelled in her sport. She excelled and she looks great on the court, and she's doing very well. Now, Brian and I mentioned this last night that Caitlin, she's under scrutiny with a lot of players. I don't know if it's jealousy or whatever it is, but she also speaks her mind. And if there's something that she doesn't like, she go out there and say it as well, And so I say to Caitlin Clark, if you're watching, or anyone that knows or acquainted with Caitlin Clark, if you're watching, keep your chin up. Keep your chin up. There's a lot of things going on. LeBron James is an intriguing 15% trade kicker in his Philadelphia 76ers contract after sealing a shock move on the NBA franchise in his twilight years of his career. Now, James completed a move to the Sixers last week after leaving Los Angeles Lakers as a free agent. And following the conclusion of the 2025-26 season, the NBA legend will suit up in the teams deemed for the championship contenders before the season first tip-off, with James playing alongside the likes of Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, DJ Edgecombe, I say, and Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, I should say, put it that way, right? So one of the things I was talking about earlier, I said I'm kind of like teed off in sports. I'm teed off in sports, and that's one of the things I'm teed off about. the move of LeBron James, leaving the Lakers, because I am a Lakers guy. I love the Lakers, and he moved out. And so he's a free agent. So he's going over to the 76ers, the Philadelphia 76ers, the city of brotherly love. And he's going to show his wares over there. Now, I got to tell you, LeBron James was 41 years old. Okay. Uh, and he'll be 42 this year. As a matter of fact, December 30th, he'll turn 42 years old. I don't know how much time he's going to spend playing ball, because the average play is in the upper 30s, right? But he's, like I said, 41 years old. He'll be 42. I would have loved to see him go out with the Lakers. But in this state, at his age right now, it's not. I don't know how this is going to work out, but it's going to be interesting to see how long he's going to be around the NBA. But I do know at the end of all of his playing career, he'll probably come up with some good idea. He'll probably come up. Maybe he'll work behind the mic or something, commentator or something like that, which a lot of them do. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Brian, I just completed sports, not all of it, but I did feature the Caitlin Clark story and the LeBron James story. I just finished
that LeBron James chasing the ring. Yeah,
yeah.
that LeBron story. Okay, well, I'm glad you did that. Let me just finish up. Sorry for I just was pulled away for emergency situation I had to handle. Everything's okay though. Major League Baseball have Jeff Kent, Andrew Jones, and Carlos Beltran will be inducted into the 2026 class of the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. And congratulations to them. The NBA stars Barack Obama surprised the WNBA All Stars for visiting. He visited the stars on their All Star weekend, and a lot of them were so elated. They were so delighted to share the former president as they took pictures and they gathered around. And that was the highlight of their story for their weekend, believe it or not. Talk about this day in sports. July 31st, 1938, Major League Baseball Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis. This is a story that I've been wanting to say. How dare this man? Let me give you a little brief history on Kennesaw Mountain Landis. He's the former baseball commissioner. Okay. Here's a man that refused to integrate blacks and people of color in Major League Baseball. He despised blacks. He despised anything that dealt with people being integrated. This is what he did back in 1938. He suspended a New York Yankee outfielder named Jake Powell after he says on Chicago radio show, he keeps in shape by cracking African Americans over the head with his nightstick. You have the nerve to suspend a person like that when you did not allow integrated people, black folks, to come in to play Major League Baseball. They had to wait for your death. I don't want to be so graphic, but they had to wait until he died. As you know, 9 years later, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. But he was the man, this commissioner would not integrate people of color, Latinos, Asians, and of course, blacks to participate in Major League Baseball. But yet you want to suspend, and you did the right thing by suspending this guy named Jack Powell after he says how he stays in shape is by cracking African Americans over the head with his nightstick. You should have suspended yourself too, as well too, but we had to wait until 1947. I wanted to bring that story out. 1972, Major League Baseball, Chicago White Sox. Dick Allen becomes only the 7th player in Major League Baseball to hit 2 inside the park home runs in a game off of Bert Blyleven in an 8-1 win. The White Sox win over the Minnesota Twins. 1981 midseason strike by Major League Baseball ends after 42 days. causing cancellation of the 713 games. Players and owners come to an agreement on free agent compensation. Believe it or not, they are talking about the new CBA, where that's the main thing, that where the owners do want salary cap. Major League Baseball players don't want. So we have to stay closely to pay attention to that as that comes to the end by the end of this year, for them to start talking about that. 1988, Pittsburgh Pirates first baseman, left fielder, and seven-time All-Star Willie Stargell becomes the 200th man to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. 1990, the Texas Rangers pitcher Nolan Ryan records his 300th career victory in 11-3 win over the Milwaukee Brewers, becoming the 20th Major League Baseball to reach the milestone. 1994, the New York Yankees shortstop Phil Rizzuto. Holy cow. Yes, Phil Rizzuto. Holy cow. That was his trademark. And Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Steve Carlton are inducted into Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Birthdays on this day, 1922. Hank Bauer, Major League Baseball infielder, manager, 8-time World Series champion for the New York Yankees and Orioles, was born in East St. Louis, Illinois. Let me say that again. East St. Louis, that's the city. State was in Illinois. 1947, John Vukovich, Major League Baseball infielder, 2 times World Series manager, born in Sacramento, California. 1958, Mark Cuban, NBA owner of the Dallas Mavericks and a celebrity on the TV show Shark Tank, was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 1962, Kevin Green, NFL Hall of Famer linebacker, 5-time Pro Bowler, was born in Schenectady, New York. 1966, Scott Brooks, NBA coach, during the 2010 Coach of the Year, and also played and coached for the Oklahoma City Thunder, was born in French Camp, California. French Camp, California. Namesake. 1968, Andre Weir, NFL quarterback, NCAA Hall of Famer, Heisman Trophy winner in 1989, was born in Galveston, Texas. And happy birthday, 1982, to DeMarcus Ware, NFL Hall of Famer, outside linebacker, 9-time Pro Bowl, was born in Auburn, Alabama. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
Well, yesterday we were talking about, it's the baseball season. We're looking forward to football, but last night, or just a minute ago, as a matter of fact, I expressed my unhappiness about LeBron James leaving Los Angeles Lakers, going over to Philadelphia 76ers. I expressed that already. And I just got finished saying that there's something else that I'm unhappy about. And that brings me over to the New York Yankees. All right.
Oh,
because this is not a good season for them. It's not a good season at all. As a matter of fact, outfielder Cody Bellinger is out. He's benched. You know why? Because he's going to be benched for 4 to 6 weeks because of a grade 2 left hamstring strain. Now, he's one of the key hitters. He's one of the key hitters besides Jazz Chisholm as well, but he's one of the key hitters. So he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. And then, not on top of that, you have Aaron Judge, who's been out since May 31st. And I think you mentioned that he'd probably be back in September. Did you say September?
Either late August, September sometime. Yeah.
That's a long time. And it's making things worse. I thought maybe they would come out of that slump without Judge, but it doesn't seem like that's going to work. And I was talking to you about the game that I saw the other night. I'm just fed up. When they were playing the White Sox. Now the White Sox.
What a game that was! My goodness.
I stayed up, and they went to 12 innings in that game. 12 innings. Now, I think it was 11 innings. The 11th inning, they were at the 11th inning, I think it was.
Mhm.
And the Yankees were ready to wrap it up because they were in the lead by 1 run, right? And they only had 1 out to go. They clipped 2 guys, and now they had 1 out to go. And there was a guy at third base for the Red Sox, and
White
someone, yeah, the White Sox, Chicago White Sox. There was one guy on third base, right? And the catcher tried to pick him off. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he tried to pick him off. But he did it, and then he did a wild throw, and throw went out to the outfield, and that's when the Yankees blew it. And that person at third base came home and tied it up 5-5. And I said, I can't take this anymore. It was 11th inning, and I just turned the TV off. I turned over and I said, I went back to sleep. I said, I can't take this. I can't take this. So I didn't watch the rest of the game, and I had to wait till the next day to check it out when I learned that the White Sox won the game 6-5.
You can't run out on your team like that. I understand.
Yeah, but it was 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, that's no excuse. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. For better or for worse, it's like a marriage. For better or for worse, you have to stay up until you started to watch the game. It's your obligation to finish the game by watching. Look at my team. For better or for worse, they're having a lousy year. I still root for them. I still wear their jerseys. You can't walk out on a team. You can't walk out on your wife. You can't walk out on your team. So it's just like a marriage. You can't do that. You got to stay with the good. When things are going good, you're there. When things are going bad, you can't just disappear and walk away. For better or for worse, you got to stay there with the good and the ugly.
But when the Yankees were in the lead, I was yawning. When they were in the lead, I said, okay, the Yankees are going to win this one. Now I can go to sleep. The Yankees, and I thought maybe they want to clip it after 2 outs. After 2 outs, I said, they got this game. They got it. All they had to do was just get that one more.
Over until the final out. I've learned that. I've seen too many sports over the years, and my heart was broken. I could tell you with the World Series, the NBA game, football. Don't let me talk about football. I've lost some heartbreakers. So these are the things. These are the growing pains. But it's like a marriage. For better or for worse, you got to stick with it.
Well, you know what? I was just tired. I was watching a wrestling match, right? The wrestling match was over, and then I went back to the Yankee game because when the wrestling match is on, I alternate. I go back and forth. Go to the Yankees, go to the wrestling match, go back and forth. I don't like really doing that way. I like to stay stable. But I love the Yankees and I love my wrestling matches, so I kept going back and forth. But then when they blew that game, and when they started the game, the Yankees were winning 3-0. I said, okay, this is the start of something good. And then when they tied it up 4-4, I said, okay, all right. And then when they took the lead again, 5-4, I said, okay, 11th inning, Yankees at the last, they got their last out to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of, well, okay, all right, maybe I should have stayed with them. But I did find out that they lost anyway, you know. But I have a couple of more minutes to say this too. We're talking about the Yankees, and remember last night I was talking about because you know me, Brian. When I like to call out something, I'll call it out. I don't give a damn who it affects. If I see something that's not right, I'm going to call it out. Now, it's one thing to be a Yankee player, and I enjoy the Yankees as players. That's not going to change. I'm always going to be a Yankee fan. But I got to talk about the franchise overall. Do you know that they did? And you read that story about the guy who didn't want African American in Major League Baseball. You already read that story, right?
Yep.
And so I couldn't think of a better time to say that the Yankees are still in that old age. They're still there in a way. I mean, it's hidden, but you could see it if you're a Yankee fan, and you might notice a few things. That's one of the reasons why I don't watch the Yankee game on Yes anymore. I watch it on maybe one of the local oppositions, But you ever notice the Yankees have this thing, what they call it, Yankee, they call it pinstripe pride. Now, pinstripe pride is something that people, the fans, they send their pictures of they're wearing their Yankee attire, and they send them in, and the Yankees pick them, or whoever, I don't know who's in charge of that. They pick the best picture and they put it on the screen so everybody can see. Today's Yankee pride is so and so. They mention a name out of Brooklyn, New York, or out of Chicago, or whatever it is, right? As much as I hate to put this out here, I've yet to see a marginalized group of people in Yankee pinstripes put their picture in there, put their picture on the screen. I've yet to see it. I've yet to see it. And I'm thinking, if I didn't know any better, I would think there were no Asians, African Americans, Hispanics watching the New York Yankees or being fans of the New York Yankees.
But you got to understand something. We live in a day and age where we thought it was over. The Yankees was one of the last teams to put a black player on their roster after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. To the credit, you know how much I hate the Dodgers. I hate them with passionately, and that's just sports term. It's nothing personal. That's just sports term. But you got to understand something. The Dodgers
went to the White House.
Well, not only that, but they also was the first Major League Baseball team to have a full roster of black players and played them. The Pittsburgh Pirates was known for their black and Latino players back in the 70s, are the first team in Major League Baseball to have a starting lineup of black and Latino players back in 1970, was it 70 or 71? So you're talking about the Yankees, one of the last few teams to have that. I do believe that if George Steinbrenner was still alive today, maybe this wouldn't happen, even though that maybe has nothing to do with players on the field. But when will this end?
How about this one? How about this one? The Yankees also have this thing that they do on the seventh inning for the seventh inning stretch. Only at Yankee Stadium they do this. They select a veteran who served in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and Marines, and whatever. They sing the national anthem or one of those patriotic songs. You know how they do it at the seventh inning? They sing the national anthem.
Stretch. Yeah.
Yeah. Seventh inning stretch. They sing the national anthem and they say, turn your attention over to home plate. So-and-so, a veteran of the United States Army in Vietnam or whatever it is, whatever he served, whatever year he served. They salute him, which I salute all military people myself. I don't care who you are. You served, I salute you. But I've never seen a Latino, I've never seen a black or any other marginalized group saluted on that baseball field. Now, maybe I missed something. I'm not saying they didn't, but maybe I missed something. But I'm saying every time I watch it, it's never there.
Yeah. I don't follow the Yankees like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's just an unfortunate thing. We live in a world of people in denial. Listen, I was on this thing called I go into the sports debate. Ted Williams, we all know Ted Williams, war hero, served 2 wars in the Korean and World War II. So the post added read, which are the most disgraced athletes in Major League Baseball of all time? Pete Rose, Barry Bonds, the usual suspects. So I put up Ted Williams. Oh, was I cursed out? couple of by white guys and everything. They said, shut the F up. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. But see, one thing I do research. I knew about Ted Williams had a past. He played in the city of Boston, played for the Boston Red Sox. This guy's telling me he's a war hero. You're a clown, gave me a picture of a clown. But then when I did the research and replied to them, what Ted Williams did during his playing days, he spat on the fans, spit on the fans, cursed out the sports writers, made obscene gestures to the sports media and to the fans. I put that all down. Everybody stopped what they were doing. They stopped cursing me out. I was cursed out. But there's one guy that said, I refuse to watch what you put up. I refuse to read it. I said, because you must be a conservative. You must be a Donald Trump disciple. Because I gave it to you proof. All you have to do is research. I refuse to read it. I refuse to read it. Just paraphrasing what he was saying. But I left it there. So I typed it out. It was a long reply. Didn't hear nothing else. I got quite a few likes. For people that probably did not like what I said because they did the research. They didn't even know the history of Ted Williams. Who spit on fans? Who make obscene gestures to the fans and to the sports writers? So people are in denial. As for the Yankee thing, as you said, well, what does that have to do with the Yankee thing? It has a lot to do with it because a lot of people will either turn a blind eye or turn the other cheek. They refuse to acknowledge it.
Well, I call them out as I see it. And, this conversation right here, we lingered on it a long time. It goes not just sports, it goes into music and all of that.
It goes into pop, right? And you're right about that. Music.
It goes all over. I mean, you could debate a lot of things, like the king of rock and roll. I'm not gonna touch that anymore, but that's another show. We can talk about that. This is a broad subject. It's a broad.
Sports is always connected to politics. Always. You try to hide, you try to run from it, but it's always connected. It always goes back to, I'm not going to even blame the president totally for that. This is just how people are in this country. Not so much in the world, but in this country. Well, why don't you don't like it? Why don't you just leave the country? No. My ancestors were forced here and forced into labor.
Well, pretty good there. Well, look, we're gonna talk more about this stuff. I mean, it's a broad subject. We'll talk more about this. We lingered on long. I'm kind of late with this one, but Oscar-winning Irish musician Glenn Hansard has died in a motorbike crash in Dublin. Hansard was a front runner or the front man for a rock group called the Frames, and also featured in Commandments or Commitments. And he won an Academy Award for the Best Original Song for Falling Slowly in 2008, which he wrote for a low-budget film called Once. And Hansard was born in Dublin in 1970 and busked on its street before landing a role of Outspan Foster in Alan Parker's The Commitments in 1991. That's the film about a soul band made up of a group of working-class young people from Dublin. He was 56. Carly Simon has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. The singer revealed in a new interview, Simon, the beloved pop rock singer, known for her 70s hits, including You're So Vain, Nobody Does It Better, and Mockingbird, made the health revelation in a statement on Monday. Simon said that she underwent 3 replacement surgeries to treat her affected joints, but her mobility continued to worsen. BBC, that's BBC Breakfast co-host, Niger, I think her name is Niger Machidi is leaving the show after 17 years, and will swap TV sofa for the presenter's chair on Radio 5 Live. That's the breakfast show. And she joined BBC once breakfast as a finance reporter and had been on the main host of the past 12 years. And she currently presents a TV show for 3 days a week, and 5 Lives made a morning program for another 3 days. And from January, she will present 5 live Breakfast 5 shows for 5 days. Pop singer Ariana Grande has filed a lawsuit against 2 identified hackers who she claimed leaked unreleased music and studio footage after gaining access to the collaborators' computer. The papers filed in Los Angeles, California, and reported by the U.S. media outlets, the producers and other who across the material that was sold on the dark web for a significant amount of money. Now, a lawyer said that she was initially getting ready to take legal action to cover the identity of the hackers. And Grande has previously expressed her desire to hold hackers accountable for leaking unreleased music. And finally, Nora O'Donnell has a new role at 60 Minutes as the new magazine, the news magazine takes on a new shape under the CBS News anchor, and as the news editor-in-chief, Barry Weiss, CBS News president, Tom Sabrowski, and executive producer Nick Belton. O'Donnell was promoted to 60 Minutes, a correspondent, after having previously been contributing a correspondent on the news show. And O'Donnell has been at CBS since 2011 and anchored CBS Evening News from 2019 until January 2025. Birthdays today: actor Rico Rodriguez of Modern Family is 27 today. Actor Dean Cain is 60, and actor Wesley Snipes is 64 years old. So happy birthday to each and every one of them. And those of you who are celebrating a birthday, get in contact with me so we can send it out there for you. Our email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Allan is spelled Allan. Prod is Prod. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. frankallenprod@aol.com. And telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Remember to keep all of that information and keep it into your books. And when I say books, either your books or your electronic devices, right? This way you could have access to it at all times. Again, that's frankallenprod@aol.com, frankallenprod@aol.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Arlene Smith is an original member of the Chantels who wrote the song and sang the lead on the R&B singing group. That's the girls group. The classic 1957 hit Maybe has died. Smith died Wednesday of natural causes in a hospital in her hometown in New York City, and she was born October 5th, 1941. Smith had received classical training and performed at the age of 12 years old at Carnegie Hall when she and Lois Harris, Sonia Goring, Jackie Landry, and Renee Minnis auditioned for record producer Richard Barrett. That's the member of a doo-wop group called the Valentines. Arlene Smith was 84 years old. Let's go back in time, Brian. Before we talk, I want to introduce you to someone. We just talked about this, Arlene Smith of the Chantels. She was the original member of the Chantels. And I think I have with us, if she's still there, hope she's still there. Lois, are you there? I don't think she's there.
She's on mute.
Okay, we have to take her over. Unmute your mic, Lois, if you're there. If you're listening, unmute your mic, please. Otherwise, we're going to have to move on. Anyway, Lois is one of the original members of the group.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of the original members of the Chantels. And she wanted, I asked her to be here, but evidently we're not going to have her. I guess she's lost. I guess she's lost. I don't know. Anyway, nice try. We thank her anyway for trying anyway. Well, since we have a little more time, let's quickly talk about that dull speech that Donald Trump made, Brian, back last Friday, as a matter of fact. You know, and he bashed everybody. He bashed all the media people, the people that he didn't like. Lawrence O'Donnell, who's on MS Now, who comes on at 10 o'clock at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the show there. He did Don Lemon, and the big one was Caitlin Collins from CNN, who received an award, by the way. And
Right.
he bashed her. And he does that all the time.
All the time. That's who he is again. But to credit to Caitlin Collins, she's unflappable. She didn't budge. She takes all his dirt, all his dirty remarks, but she's the perfect professional journalist that you could ever want to have. She, even when she got her award, she even shook the president's hand. She didn't have to, but because she's the true professional of who she is, and for somebody that's 34 years old, not surprising, but she's 34 years old, a young woman, and she just received the award, shook everybody's hand, including the president. The president was right there, and I really believe that the president really just looked for a response. He knows that people don't like him. He knows what he's saying to people to try to ruffle their feathers. Some people cave into him, but some don't. And kudos to Caitlin Collins.
Excuse me. You ever choke off your own saliva?
Oh, I thought you was choking because I mentioned the president's name. I'm sorry.
Oh. But that was good timing, though. But a lot of the reporters got backlash from that. You say Caitlin Collins shook his hand, and a lot of those other reporters shook his hand, and a lot of people they got bashed for that, saying that why did they go to that dinner in the first place anyway? Because that dinner is not like the dinner it used to be. And usually they have a comedian. Usually they do have a comedian there to roast the president or whatever they talk about, or roast the reporters or everybody that's in the media for fun. But it was Donald Trump's choice not to hire any comedians, because they said that it would have got to the point where they roasted him, and he's as skin thin as he is. He wouldn't have enjoyed that.
No, he wouldn't have.
So, but yeah, they got a lot of backlash from that. They say, hey, none of those reporters shouldn't have been there. They should have canceled that dinner altogether. But they rescheduled that dinner only because of the fact that it was a so-called assassination on his part. Remember when they went in and they shot up the place in the hotel, and they had to get everybody out of there?
Yeah.
Remember that dinner?
I think it was required that some representations of different network cable news had to be there just to have a representative. And Caitlin Clark, she had to get her award, so she received the award, so she had to be there. But she had her mentor there, Wolf. Wolf.
Yeah. They had to reschedule that dinner because of the first one when they tried to assassinate Trump. Or I have reservations about that, whether or not he was assassinated attempt on that. I'm not going to talk about it, but I have reservations about that. But that's why they canceled it the first time and they have to reschedule it. And this was the rescheduled one. You know, um, it's so much crap. Brian, it's time for us to go. Warren came in and he just wanted us to let us know that Josh Hart is the great nephew of Yankees first black player, Elson Howard. Josh
Whoa,
Hart.
I did not know that. He threw out the first ball, he says, along with Jalen Brunson. I did
Mhm.
not know that. Good for
Mhm.
you, Warren. Thank you.
That's the good thing about this show. All of us get to talk to people who are in the know about something that we may not be in. That's
And
going to
Elson
wrap it
Howard
up.
was the first black player for the Yankees, too.
That's right. That's right. Hallelujah. That's okay, Brian. We'll catch you back here next week. All right. Take care of yourself.
Bye.
All right. And for the rest of you guys, join us back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Talk Back Live. Brian Cat, my co-host, will be here, and he'll bring us the latest developments in today's world of sports as well. And we'll be here come next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the coffee hour. You, me, and the world, all of us. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great day, a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.